50 seconds of logos. Ah, I see this movie is about both life and death.
Pointing things out on the screen. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of that in this one.
Child abuse is the only way to ensure your kid becomes a badass warrior.
I don't condone child abuse, but according to the movie, that's just what the Greeks believed, to make them as strong as possible.
Fight diaper.
See? That didn't take long for another pointing something out sin.
It is customary in Sparta.
Wait, is the whole movie gonna be narrated?
Yes, it is. And you know that Leonidas is telling this story to Spartan soldiers, right? So, sorry, narration works in this case.
Taught to show no pain, no mercy.
At what point is the kid not supposed to show pain? Because he's showing a lot of pain here.
It's more so that they have to withstand it as much as possible. Battles will undoubtedly hurt, and they must train to ignore it so they can continue killing.
Warner Brothers brings you Zack Snyder's Sin City.
One sin for misspelling Zack Snyder's name.
And so the boy, given up for dead, returns to his people, to sacred Sparta, a king! Our king, Leonidas!
So we've just been told that all Spartan men go through the shit that Leonidas did, starting at the age of 7. Other than the fact that he's a king, what was so special about this story? Didn't they all go through the same thing?
Probably not the wolf part. The way Delios describes it is pretty unrealistic, and that's a running theme in this movie that I'll talk about in a second.
Zack Snyder films. If it looks real, you're not trying hard enough.
I don't think this movie was meant to look realistic, considering it's based off of a graphic novel.
If you made all the slow motion shots in this movie real time, the total runtime would shrink to 22 minutes.
So I'm aware this video has a bonus round where you sin every single slow-mo shot, but isn't this just padding the sin count? Why not ignore this fact until you get to that bonus round?
Oh shit, the cameraman fell in after the Persians he was filming.
Because camera zooming in isn't an option?
Leonidas.
This lame pun.
Also, all of Sparta can see the king's dingling if they happen to look out their windows.
How? He looks pretty high up and out of range for anyone to see him to me.
Only the hard and strong may call themselves Spartans.
Okay, sounds good.
Only the hard. Only the strong.
I heard you the first time.
Yelling at the screen.
Double flute guy.
Apparently this is actually a real thing, so that shouldn't count as a sin of this movie.
Let's camp right on the edge of a terrifying drop-off. Why? Because it makes a cooler shot.
Yeah, it does. But also, why not? They don't look that close to the edge anyway, so they won't toss and turn off.
Immortals. We'll put their name to the test.
This is pretty gruesome, but damn, what a waste of time.
You really don't know what this is for? This is meant to strike fear into the Spartans and make them want to give up.
Wow, this guy really thought his whip was going to do something in this situation. I mean, he just saw a gruesome dead body wall and thought, my whip will take care of the people who did this.
It was simply meant to make them pay for all the dead bodies that belong to them.
Earthquake. No, Captain. Battle formations.
Using this logic, there should be an earthquake every time the Persian army moves.
It's possible you forgot, but this was set up earlier. The idea that the Persian army is so big that it causes earthquakes.
Xerxes conquers and controls everything he rests his eyes upon. He leads an army so massive, it shakes the ground with its march.
Well, yeah, man, that's the whole plan, right? Stay here and let them come to you. Why would any of the Spartan soldiers be about to run off somewhere?
It's just meant to remind them what they're here to do.
Leonidas is kicking some major ass. Luckily, he's the only person that we will ever care about in this 300 Spartan army. No reason to show the other guys. I'm sure they're kicking ass in their own way, but who gives a shit, right?
We see the others in other scenes, and although we do see other Spartans in the background, this is Leonidas' time to shine, as he is the protagonist.
Why does the rest of the massive Persian army pause and wait while the Spartans drive this small group of Persians off a cliff? Oh, I see. It's so that we can get this shot. Great. Awesome. Also, a second ago, this cliff was wide. The Spartans were 8 or 9 wide pushing them off, but then in this glamour shot, it's a skinny cliff with just 1 or 2 Spartans out in front doing the pushing.
It's called perspective. We can't see the other Spartans from this angle.
Yeah, you showed those arrows who's boss. By the way, how did you get your spear back? You threw it into the Batista twins a minute ago, you were using your sword, and the arrow attack happened right after that.
In this shot right here, you can see one of the soldiers handing him his spear. Thanks to this person for pointing this out.
Unfortunate if anything were to happen to him.
Antagonist says it would be unfortunate if something happened to the protagonist cliche.
How many times has that particular line been said? I don't remember.
The director said, here, eat an apple. It'll make you look like even more of an asshole.
There's no
no reason we can't be civil.
Ha ha, and there's the reason the apple was in the scene. It makes the "we can't be civil" line so much funnier when you say it with a mouthful of apple.
Yeah, double sinning for the same thing.
Okay, so it would be stupid for the Persians to kill Leonidas because all of Sparta would go to war, but would it be stupid to just kill Xerxes right here and now? He has no one defending him at all.
Well, Leonidas at least wants to hear him out, and Xerxes is kind of a god. I doubt he could be killed even if he wanted to. Also, he does have defenses. You can see that right here.
Oh no, the dreaded omen of the seagull flying off a spear.
What did I say about pointing things out on the screen?
Spartans, push!
Okay, first, why would you scream and give yourselves away like this?
Because the bodies are immediately falling down after he yells, therefore giving away his position doesn't matter?
Also, I'd like to know how this dead body pile did anything to help the Spartans whatsoever. They pushed the dead bodies onto one dude. It wasn't that big a surprise that they were behind the wall because the immortals already had drawn their swords. I just think this movie has a dead body fetish.
Just like the tree earlier, this was meant to make the immortals feel afraid, and they killed the guy who looks like who is in charge.
And finally, who's guarding the hot gates right now? Every single Spartan is behind the dead body wall. Why did the immortals even come to the wall in the first place? Wouldn't the hot gates look completely empty right now?
Nastrel had a pretty good comment that I'm gonna borrow. Thermopylae, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. The pass in which this battle took place consists of a narrow cliff edge, you can maybe fit 100 men abreast, with a mountainside to one side and the ocean to the other. The Hot Gates is a smaller canyon where the Spartans are first fighting against the Persian lemming charge. The scene where the Spartans fight the Immortals at night with the big body wall further ahead of the Hot Gates, i.e. they are guarding the Hot Gates, given that they are between the Persians and it.
Also, Leonidas somehow holds off the growling monster with one arm while his other hand goes to pick up a random dagger.
That random dagger was a part of his broken spear, though.
Why did Xerxes and his never-ending army of millions take the night off? Can't they enter into a simple attack-sleep schedule where well-rested groups of soldiers can attack and keep the Spartans from getting any rest?
This sin also came from Nastrel. Do you have any idea how confusing a battle is? Especially a battle that's hand-to-hand. Now add on top of that, having to do it at night. It took hours just to get men into formation back then, and that's using the Roman army as an example, who, unlike the Persians, were professional soldiers trained in drills so they could do those things as quickly and orderly as possible. Night was for sleeping, licking your wounds, planning and gathering the dead.
Our eyes bear witness to the grotesque spectacle coughed forth from the darkest corner of Xerxes' empire.
This grotesque spectacle coughed forth from the darkest corner of Xerxes' empire is a huge rhino.
Well, to be fair, it was for ancient Greece.
I officially don't know what the f is going on in this battle. There were elephants falling off cliffs, and now they're on a battlefield that looks like they're in the middle of a desert somewhere.
Jeremy doesn't understand the idea of cutting to the next scene.
Why would you throw your only weapon you have left at one dude when there's plenty of other dudes to kill? Oh well, it's not like they're a challenge or anything, I guess.
There is another soldier right here that's watching his back, just saying.
Oh no, how will we ever warn him in time?
You say this over the captain warning his son.
Captain's cries of pain at the loss of his son are more frightening to the enemy than the deepest battle drums.
What? The army of the dead, captained by an 8-foot god, is scared by mourning? Mourning?
If he's mad that his son was killed, that means he won't hold anything back from now on when killing the Persians.
I require only that you kneel.
Also, Persian Shaq is a dick to sloth.
That's racist.
But tonight, we dine in hell!
Hell has a horrible rating on Yelp.
Sinning this line.
Bold Leonidas gives testament to our bloodline.
The word was spread that bold Leonidas and his 300, so far from home, laid down their lives.
How does the narrator guy have any idea what happened after Leonidas sent him home with his message?
Here's what I was talking about earlier with Dilios narrating. He's sort of making all this up to inspire Sparta. All the over-the-top creatures he talks about, they were probably mentioned just to build up how strong the Spartans were. Heck, this movie isn't that historically accurate from what I've heard, and this sort of explains why.
Madness. This is Sparta!